Welcome back, everybody. A lovely Sunday morning here in the Zendo. I would just like to give an introduction to him who does not need an introduction, but I would like to just, for those of you who may be new or not fully in the know, Roshi Joshin is a fully empowered Zen teacher in the White Plum lineage, also a fully ordained Zen priest with a lifetime of sitting meditation experience and over 30 years of teaching experience. Also our co-founder and our abbot at the center. Thank you for being here to listen to his Teisho Enter the Way. Thank you.
We have a new camera system. Can you hear me online? You can't.
No.
Sandy.
What?
Oh, Sandy said, well, I'll slide the table to you. We just may need to get it closer.
That's really close.
Okay. It's about as close as it's going to get.
Can you hear me online? Okay. We have a new system we're using. It's not quite as good, but it's less moving parts. So we're using a conference microphone, and we're not going to move the camera anymore when people ask questions in the room. It actually gives people in the room a little bit more anonymity and perhaps safety. And we don't move the camera all over the place. So we're trying this out. We'll see how it works. And we'll just see how it goes. Really happy to be here with all of you, new friends, old Sangha, Maha Sangha. Who's that new fellow who left? The thing I noticed this morning is we had a one-day retreat yesterday, and I noticed the same thing. There's something about sitting together in the Buddha Hall that is very powerful, and I'm not taking away from Zoom, because I still will sit with all of you on Zoom Monday through Friday, pretty much in my office, as you are sitting in your respective homes. And Zoom allows us to share the Dharma together with those of you that can't be at the center. So it's wonderful that we have Zoom, but I also want to put in a plug for being together physically. There's something about sitting together that's very powerful. So I appreciate all of you being here this morning, all of you being here online. So I want to talk about entering the way, enter the way, and I'm going to use Big Mind as a way of facilitating this morning, and I'm going to be using Big Mind a lot more going forward on Sunday mornings. And I don't want to say too much about it right now because I don't want to stimulate you thinking too much about it. So I'm going to just go into the facilitation and invite you to participate and just see where this takes us. And you can start with not knowing. That would be useful. But I'll just very briefly. Big Mind was developed by Genpo Roshi based on voice dialogue that was a Jungian form of therapy that was developed by Hal and Sidra Stone. And Hal and Sidra Stone developed this modality to speak to many voices that we have, psychological voices. We have many voices, roles, constellation, archetypes. We have a controller, a protector, an inner child, an inner critic. These are all kind of constellations, psychological constellations that Hal and Sidra Stone discovered a way to speak to that voice, and that we could give it a voice in the first person with its own energy, its own worldview, and very helpful psychologically, because what this does is it allows us to kind of step away from our fixed persona of whatever, whoever we think we are. And when we step away from that, we have many selves. And when we can step away from that kind of grip we have on who we think we are and occupy another voice in ourselves, it gives us more freedom and more flexibility to be larger. And so what Genpo did is he took this, because how Cinderstone actually worked, came to the Zen Center of LA at one point. We all thought we were bodhisattvas, and no one got angry anymore. And we were totally dysfunctional. And so we had to bring in Hal and Cinderstone, some good therapists, to help us get real again. And it really helped. So there is psychological freedom, which is, to me, part of the spiritual path. We need both a spiritual depth and we need maturity psychologically. In our culture, we need both to be, I think, complete in a spiritual tradition. So what we do in Big Mind is we're taking those psychological voices and replacing them with transpersonal voices. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, and this is all voluntary, you don't have to speak up if you feel uncertain or you're not sure what this is going on, but I'm going to invite you to speak in the first person to a particular voice that I'm going to identify. And you don't have to know what this voice is in you, you just have to be willing to try it out. And we can have fun with this and kind of explore something that I think is actually profoundly important in terms of the Zen tradition. And we have a way of getting at it through Big Mind that's very direct and I think helpful. Okay? Everyone okay so far? Okay, so speaking about the way today, I wanted to, and one thing we can do just to remind yourself that you're moving from your persona to a new self, so to speak, or another self that's part of you. I'm going to ask you to just make a small shift in your chair so that you're reminding yourself that you're moving from your normal self that speaks in the first person to try out another self, okay? And if you all move your chair, just a little slight movement. So now I'd like to speak to the one who seeks the way. I want to speak to the one in you who seeks the way. Who am I speaking to?
One who seeks the way.
Okay. And speak in the first person. What do you do as the one who seeks the way? What do you do as the one who seeks the way? What interests you? What concerns you? What's important to you as the one who seeks the way?
Other people.
Other people are important to you. Can you say a little more?
Pay attention to other people.
You pay attention to other people, okay? So relationships are important to you.
Caring about how other people exist.
Caring about how other people exist, okay? You're the one who searches for the way.
An open mind.
You have an open mind. Can you say a little more about that?
Instead of grasping at my opinion, I try to listen to other people's opinions.
You have some, it sounds like you have some curiosity about other points of view. Oh, wonderful, yeah, okay. So you don't just grab onto your own opinion and say that's it. As the one who searches the way, you're more open and curious about other ways, other possibilities. Good. Anyone else? See if we can have fun with this. There's no right or wrong answer. Yeah, Eric?
Seeking calmness.
You seek calmness as the one who searches for the way. Okay, well, no, that's what's important. What's important to you is to seek calmness. Can you say a little bit more about what calmness is to you?
We live generally in a very fast-paced world with our busy lives and technology, and there's a rush to do more, have more, spend more. Everything is about more,
Yeah.
and that doesn't keep the possibility of finding wholeness.
So as the one who seeks away, you are aware that the culture is not terribly satisfying for what it offers out. It's always more, consuming more, and so you're seeking some calmness that is not about that.
Culture has some benefits, but pendulum has gone way too far the other way. Wrong way.
So you're seeking a calmness that is not about getting more. Uh-huh. Okay. See? What else? There's someone, yeah.
That's it.
Say more. You sit. As the one who seeks away, you sit. You say a little more about that?
I sit and spend time in that.
Okay. So as one who seeks away, you make time to sit. Could I infer by that that you, as one who seeks away, you're actually arranging your life in such a way that you can sit? Okay. Almost like what Gary is saying, you're arranging your life instead of just buying things endlessly. You actually do something in your life that makes it more possible that you will have calmness. You're looking for that, so you make some kind of room in your life to find it.
Actually, an example would be, and I know I'm spending a lot of time and money and attention to phones, but sometimes, I make an impulse purchase of an app or wherever. I sort of developed a saying that check your closet first, because you may already have it.
First, did you all hear that online? So if you're going to buy an impulse thing at the market, Gary's saying, first check your closet because you might already have it. Have you ever done that? You bought a book and you already had it, and it's like in your basement somewhere. Yeah. Okay. All right. What else? What do you do? Someone who seeks away.
Wisdom.
Huh?
Words.
Speak in the first person.
I'm seeking for wisdom, but on a basic level, not only from the books, but in life, and learn how to apply it in daily life.
Ah, wonderful. So you're seeking wisdom, and you're seeking wisdom not just as an intellectual idea, but as something that is applied and embodied in terms of how you're living it. Yeah. Okay. What else? Anybody online want to say anything? It's the one who's seeking wisdom. Anyone here?
Ask a question.
Yeah, but I kind of want to keep you in the role as much as possible and not think about it too much.
No, it's okay, I'll leave it.
We can do that afterwards.
Yeah.
Diane?
In terms of relationships and people, I look for what is instead of what isn't.
You look for what is instead of what isn't. Can you say more?
I try to get beneath the critical mind of other people and look for what they bring, and as opposed to what they don't bring.
So I want to kind of unpack that a little bit. So what I hear you saying is that you don't just, when you look at people, the one who searches for the way, you don't just take at face value their opinion, but there's something else you're looking for in them.
Yes, but I don't look for their shortcomings or what isn't. I'm looking for what is, what they.
You're looking for their gifts.
Yes.
Ah, wonderful. Yeah. Oh. Boy, we could all do that. We are so polarized now, aren't we? We are so divided. If we all were seeking the way and seeking to see the gift in each other, what a difference that would make in the world. If we actually came from this place, seeking the way. seeking to see the gifts in others, seeking to arrange our lives so that we could meditate, seeking to find a wisdom that is embodied and applied rather than just an intellectual idea, seeking something deeper that you're going to live that is more perhaps satisfying than consumer culture offers you. Okay? All right. I want you to shift your chair again. I'm going to speak to another voice. I'd like to speak to the way. Don't think about this too much. This one, who am I speaking to? Tell me about yourself as the way in the first person. Well, you're still the seek. Yes, I get that. We just spoke to you as the one who seeks a way. Now I'm asking you to try out another possibility that, yes, we've honored the one who seeks a way, but now I want to talk to you as the way itself.
I notice the natural world, and I notice other people. In the moment,
So as the way you are in the moment, huh? Is it possible you could not be in the moment as the way? Okay. Well, just try that on for a minute and see what that. I want you to, as we do this, try this on kind of energetically. What would it be to be the way and to always be present in the present, to show up? Anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you as the way? Yeah.
I'm very spacious.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You are very spacious and absolutely accepting, unconditionally accepting. Wow. That sounds pretty good. Yeah. That's kind of like looking for the gift. Yeah? Okay, what else?
I am my breath.
I am my breath. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Be the breath. Be the breath. Where does that begin and where does it end?
It's always.
Huh?
It's always.
It's always.
It's always.
Yeah.
If I don't, I'm dead. If I'm not breathing, I'm dead.
I understand. As the way, do you have a beginning or an end?
No beginning, no end.
So that means you don't die?
No, I don't think I do die. I think when this
That's the way.
is the way. That's right.
Are you born at a certain time? You begin at a certain time?
I don't know.
Try this on, everyone, as the way. Do you have a beginning or an end? What is it like right now to be here as the way, to be whatever this is that doesn't have a beginning or an end? Can you actually be here with this? Actually get this? No.
The word that comes to mind for me as being the way is delicious.
Delicious.
Delicious. I can feel it in my stomach. I'm the way. I feel flow and
Okay.
wind.
Huh?
Wind.
The wind?
Yeah, you see me everywhere. Wind.
You are everywhere as the way. Ah, like the wind.
And people can
The wind
walk.
goes. Yeah. Sounds like you're pretty fluid. Anybody else? can you say about yourself as the way? What's shifted? What's shifted from being the one who seeks the way and now being the way? What's shifted in you? Has anything changed? Yeah.
I can just feel it in my stomach. It's really good. That's what shifted and moved up, maybe up my head to my stomach.
Something is more settled, or
That just feels really good.
feels good in your stomach.
Like right here.
Uh-huh. Okay, Gary?
If I could substitute the word path versus the way, I would say path for me would be more about doing versus learning.
Well, we could use, I could be speaking to the path also, but we could use, these words are almost interchangeable. We could say the one who seeks the path and the one who is the path. I'm asking you to, we're using the word way in this instance, but is there a shift in you that you notice from being the one who seeks the way to being the way?
I'm not sure if I understand, but I would just say that when I learned some decades ago when I started, there was a great emphasis on learning things about
Yeah.
and that's all good and important. As I learned, actually a very small amount, found that my greater interest was adapting it to that.
So, as the way, you are living this teaching rather than just studying it. In fact, you are the teaching, aren't you? I hear some doubt there that you might not be the way. Yeah, explain it. If you are the way, speaking in the first person is the way, why wouldn't you acknowledge that you are the teaching itself? Inviting you to kind of put this on like a new piece of clothing. See, what does it feel like to wear this? Wear this. Be the way. I know it sounds preposterous. How could we possibly be the way? But I'm inviting you to playing here. Try it on. It's interesting that you also said you don't. Not sure you understand it. Not sure you understand yourself as the way. Yes, because maybe there's no one to understand it. No.
When I am the way, there is less time. When I am the way,
Yeah.
there's less time.
Yeah. Yeah. Where is I? Where is? Yeah.
It feels effortless. Like it's no responsibility. It's like you just can't admire everything around you, but you are not like determined to see. You just notice.
Interesting that you said there's no responsibility. So there's a sense that this is just being and no accountability necessarily. Really interesting what you just said. Yeah.
I think it's frightening to be the way.
Say more.
The shift between seeking and being, some kind of fearful.
Why?
Could I be the way?
Are you fearful of being the way or fearful that you're not the way? Oh. What's the fear? Is it too big? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. It's really big.
Responsibility to be the way.
Okay, there's a fear of the freedom. We might be more afraid of freedom than we are of our pain. Yeah. Get that. Really get that.
I think seeking the way is a.
No, don't go back. I want you to.
Oh, I thought you were asking.
Well, we are kind of asking, okay, the shift, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Seeking the way, it feels awfully intellectual. I'm the way is There's nothing here. It's, I wanted to say fluid, but that's not right. It's not I'm not
There's
fluid.
no attribute.
No,
There's no duality.
no.
It's hard to say what
But
you
there's
are as a
nothing.
way.
There's nothing. And that's not a nihilistic thing.
I understand. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just hard to say anything about the way because you don't have really any quality that you could identify.
It just is.
It's
I'm just
almost
just there.
hard to talk about. Pretty big. I wonder if you can actually accept that you are the way, or if you just think this is an exercise I'm doing with you. It's all right to be skeptical. That's another voice. We should honor that too. We could talk to the skeptic. Why do you want to believe something that some Zen teacher is telling you sitting up here in this chair? Maybe this is just a bunch of hogwash. That's possible. We could talk to that skeptic, honor the skeptic too. We have many voices.
Roshi?
Yeah.
Attention? I think that's for me right there. The point is in other religions, that is actually the place right there in the faith is accepting, a religion based on faith and accepting it based on the faith, not necessarily being able to describe it, comprehend it, or understand it. And that's what it is for Zen for me. When you talk about this, it's being able to accept landing somewhere inside myself where I can't describe it. I can't necessarily understand it. And that's the not knowing that's always going to be there for me, I think. When you talked about, comparing if anything shifted in me from the seeker to the, I pictured myself as the seeker. The visualization was jumping into the jump rope, from outside the jump rope as the seeker, being in that kind of rhythm. And then when you said, well, you are, then I was like, well, where do I jump to? I'm already, the jump rope is still in the. I mean, the jump rope is just a piece of that. It's a fragment of being the way. So it's this faith piece that, can I sit with this? Can I really sit with being alive and not having an answer to that for myself that's lasting? So
I get that this is incredible and it might be hard to accept that you are the way, the possibility that you are, and yet this is the Zen teaching. We talk about it intellectually all the time, but now I'm inviting you to actually be the way, to notice that you already are the way, whether you know it or not. And so we're gonna run out of time. So this is an introduction to entering the way. And if we had more time, and I'll do more of this in the future, we could build a triangle here for three things that we absolutely need in Zen, and we need all three. And so we started by talking about the one who seeks a way. It's sort of the side of the relative. We have a self, we have many selves, we have psychological selves, and we have one who seeks a way, which is actually extremely important. You have the ox-herding pictures that Roshi Jun talked about not so long ago, and people think of those as some kind of hierarchy where you get to the end and you become the bodhisattva, and then you no longer search for the way. No, not like that. We're always searching for the way. We don't stop searching for the way just because we reach enlightenment or Kensho or we realize what the way is. So there is this in us sense of disappointment with the world as it's given to us. A sense of this samsara is inadequate, disappointing. And a sense of urgency that we need to find something that is real or truthful or valuable, some wisdom, something, some love, something that is not samsara, not that, disappointment, not something that we just go out and buy. So we are seeking this. You wouldn't be here if you weren't seeking this. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that we are here because we are seekers of the way. Being a seeker of the way, you arrange your life so that you can be here. If that seeker of the way wasn't alive in you, you wouldn't be here. You'd be somewhere else. So it's really important to acknowledge the self. We all have an ego. We're not going to get rid of it just because we see through the construction of the ego. It's still, some of the biggest egos I know are Zen teachers. Big, massive egos. Huge. Oh my God. So the self is there. We're not getting rid of the selves. We have to function in the world and take our kids to school and pay bills and have to function in the world. We have relationships with people. All that's part of Zen. We call it the relative side. And seeking, the one who seeks away is one of those parts of us that is activated at some point. And if we had time, I'm sure we could all tell stories about how that's got activated in us and we ended up in a Zen center. And then the way that's enlightenment, big mind. We have many names for it. It's the Tao, and it has no attribute. We can't know it because it's not dualistic in the way that seeking the way is. So we're seeking the way, we never ever quite find it. We're looking for it. It's important that we look for it, or we wouldn't find it. But when we do find it, now you are the way. And that's a huge Zen teaching. You call it emptiness, shunyata, you can call it any name you want. There's sutras, written about it, the Heart Sutra. There's all kinds of teachings primarily about this, the way. The translation of the Tao is the way. The same character in Chinese culture. Be in accord with the Tao. And Taoism had a huge impact on Zen. So now, when we are chanting our sutras and things, we no longer say the Buddha way, because it sounds like something esoteric in Buddhism. We call it the Buddha Tao, the way. You are the Buddha. You are the Tao. You are intrinsically awake. You can't get it. You can't own it. You can't lose it. It's already here. It's always been here. And it may sound so incredible, it's hard to believe. No, if he really knew who I am, he wouldn't say I'm the way. I really messed up. No, the way includes your being messed up. So we need both of these in Zen. And then the third one, which we're not going to have time, but in the future when I do this, we'll include this third aspect of the triangle, which is the apex, which includes both the way and the one who seeks the way. And that's the vow. That's giving our merit back to others. The Bodhisattva vow. We need all three of these. And if anyone is missing, and they often do go missing, then something is incomplete. If we don't search for the way, and we have the way, and we are the way, we get complacent. If we're just searching for the way, we never find it. Important to, I don't know, someone asked Jung something, I forget what question was asked him, you know God or something, or he said, I am God, it was something like that. So we need to find the way, absolutely, be the way. Or you're always looking for it, or it's always separated from you. It's always something dualistic that you're looking for. So, but if you find the way and you're no longer searching for the way, you get kind of inflated there. And if you don't have the vow, then you don't have any heart. It doesn't work. It's not worth much. The wisdom of the way is, it's terribly important, but if you don't have the heart to turn that way and apply it and bring that wisdom into the world, if you don't love somebody, then it's just theoretical. It's not applied. You're looking for a wisdom that is lived, you can live it. If we just have the vow without the wisdom, again, it's all heart, but it's not very effective. In fact, it could be harmful. Too much emotion, too much drama. There's dharma and there's drama. Which one do you want? You want the dharma or you want the drama? There's too much heart, there's no equanimity. And there is a sense in which the way this is kind of cold. Not, just being. You said it was beautiful. It's not accountable. Yeah, but if you have the one who seeks the way, and you have the vow, the love that gives this away, the bigness of that, then you're completely accountable and responsible to yourself and to everyone. And so that's, to me, that is how we enter the way, is we begin by entering the way, by looking for it. The ox-herding pictures shows a picture of the guys, and then he sees the tracks of the ox. Then he gets a glimpse of the ox, just sees it like the rear end of it walking away. And again, goes chasing through the forest, and then he finds the ox, catches the ox, he lassos it, Then he rides it home. He has to tame that ox. And then eventually you end up with this circle, there's no more man, no more ox, no more woman. There's no duality anymore. He's the ox, but he's more than the ox. It's not one, not two. It's beyond words. It's subtle. And then the last picture, he's going back into the market with gift bestowing hands. He's fulfilling that vow every day. He's giving it away because there's nothing to own. And if you really see this, experience this, then you want to share it. You want to give it away. You want others to have it, because what could be better than being Buddha? Better. This is who we are. Really who we are. All the other ways we feel inadequate psychologically. Yeah. I say delusion is enlightenment. Oh yeah, we're all insecure. All feel inadequate. Feel not up to the task. Confused, bewildered. And still, we are this tradition is saying you are whole and complete as you are. You can't gain this, you can't lose it. It's not something you're going to get through doing meditation, but it would probably be a good idea to meditate. It's perfect, but there's still room for improvement. There's still the one who is seeking the way. Yeah, character work. It never ends. There's no end to this practice. There's nowhere we get where we say, I've arrived, I got it. Dogen says practice is enlightenment. When we make our lives available in such a way so that we can practice, we show up. So, as you know, in the way we've done the Zen Center, I've done a lot of teachings on mindfulness, which I think are really important as entry-level practices, and to give context to the overall Zen path. Shamatha, Vipassana, really important foundational meditation practices. I learned them from Trungpa Rinpoche. And both counting the breath and a kind of open awareness practice involve a watcher. You're activating something that's apart from your persona that is watching your thoughts and your emotions. And that's a very powerful part about mindfulness, is that you're getting a little distance on being that persona that you're all cramped up in. It's based on fear. But when we get to Zen, the main practice here is called shikantaza, just sitting. And I don't teach shikantaza in the beginning because I think it's too advanced for most people. Because we need to be embodied. We need to come back to the body and get grounded in our direct embodied experience and be able to be patient enough to allow ourselves to be there with ourselves. But once we've gotten that, there's a point where there's an inflection point on the path where we absolutely see that we're getting in our own way. We're trying too hard. We have too much intention, too much motivation, and the trying actually starts to get in the way. And there's a point where you see that you have to get out of the way. You have to forget the self. You have to let go. There's no method for this. In fact, of all the Buddhist schools, Zen or Chan was called non-marga. Marga means path. There is no path in Zen, strictly speaking. There is no method to shikantaza.
He has a method.
He's got a method. He's got a car. He's got wheels. I'm getting excited. I just got distracted. In shikantaza, there is no watcher anymore. There's no duality. It is a profoundly deep and moving practice, and I invite you to do shikantaza. You've been doing mindfulness practice here. Come in, and I think it's actually helpful to be together physically doing shikantaza. It's beyond words. But when you do shikantaza, everything sits. Everything. You sit with all the suffering sentient beings. You sit with your sadness. You sit with joy. You sit with everything. You sit with the fucked upness of the world. You sit with everything. Everything sits. There's no watcher anymore. And that is a profoundly deep practice. And there's no end to it. And so I want to invite you to try that out. Because when we are in this, and the form becomes important, it's important that you sit upright and that you let go into whatever form you have, whether you're sitting cross-legged, you're sitting in a chair. Part of shikantaza is relaxing into the form And you find that the body is extremely relaxed, but the mind becomes very sharp, and that's a paradox. Because usually when our mind is concentrated, we're stressed out, we're trying too hard. And so when you relax into the form, you let go, you actually show up as who you are. This is who we are. It's the best expression of who we are. And the Tao that can be named is not the nameless Tao. The Tao that can be known is not the unknowable Tao. Those who know cannot explain. Those who can explain do not know. Because the mystery cannot be known or named, it is called the Tao. A little time for any questions or comments? Anything?
Well, I think when we're seeking the path, seeking the way, we really are trying to arrange our lives. And that's impossible. It's absolutely impossible because we don't know what's going to happen. We're not in control. We're not in control of the air that's in us. We're not in control of our bodies. We're not in control of our minds, really. So we are trying to arrange. And I'm sorry, I have to go to Dogen for a second. So this is, I think, why Dogen talks about continuous practice. We're constantly being aware and letting go, and being aware and letting go. It's the Shinkantaza of life.
Yeah. Dogen also says, Hotsu Bodaishin, raise the Bodhi mind.
Raise the Bodhi mind.
The thought of enlightenment is enlightenment. To raise that, arouse that in you, which wants to awaken, or to be clear about whatever that is that's the one who searches for the way.
We say it in the Gate of Sweet Nectar. Now I raise the Bodhi mind.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful line.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts, questions, comments? How was the big mind? It's an upaya. It's what Zen teachers are always trying to we want everyone to see this, have this experience of being Buddha, because you already are. We're saying it in so many different ways. The sutras say it in so many different ways. And I think Big Mind is an upaya, because it can help us have the direct experience, invite it in, and then you can sit with this and try it out for yourself. And I think the real upaya about all this, whether it's voice dialogue or Big Mind, is the notion that we can actually begin to see that we have other voices, we have other selves. And when you try out another self, you're getting a little distance from the self that you think you are, the one that you know, has a name and a birthday and all that. And we're pretty much attached to that self. And when you start trying out and realize that psychologically, I think it's psychology 101, we have other archetypes in us and voices. And when you can own those, and often they're disowned, you're freer. You have more flexibility. You're less fearful. You don't have to defend this persona anymore. It's just one voice that you, by habit, sort of, grabbed onto and decided this is who you are. But hey, maybe you're the one who seeks the way too. Maybe you're also the way. Maybe you're also the Bodhisattva. And what if you could own all of those completely as who you are? Then what would your life be like? It's an invitation. an invitation to freedom, which could be scary, I guess.
What an invitation.
Yeah, it's an invitation. That is an invitation. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roshi.
Thank you, Roshi.
Thank you, everyone online. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Pat, who are you rooting for, Pat? Yeah. You're rooting for the Chiefs. You're from the Midwest. I'm rooting for the 49ers. I'm from California.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Huh?
But you know, Roshi, there's also that